So the conversation and the big pink elephant in the room is drug culture, and is it a part of bikini competitions? Do you have to use? And so I've always been somebody that will tell it to you straight and be a realist with you. So I'm going to tell it to you straight and I'm going to be a realist. So the first thing you need to know is that you have a choice, okay? You don't have to use. It's not essential. It doesn't mean that you can't compete if you don't use. But I'm not going to lie and say that drugs aren't out there, okay? I'm not going to lie and say that bikini girls are not using. As much as we, as a population, might look at it and think, wow, these girls can accomplish this without, there's a lot of it, okay? The entire bodybuilding culture is somewhat built upon extremism. And of course, when you have extremism, you also have drugs. I mean, Olympic sports have drugs too. So let's not sugarcoat this, okay? The drugs are very much a part of it, and they've trickled in quite heavily into the bikini category. Just being straight up. And not using stuff and trying to beat the test. Yes, absolutely, it's happening. Are girls in open shows using drugs? Yes, absolutely, it's happening. But does that mean that you have to use drugs? No, you don't. Okay? No, you don't. I have had plenty of clients. Like, I just had a client the other weekend win the overall at a show and be like 1 point away from winning in the open show, without using. Okay, it happens. I've had clients winning shows. I've even had clients on the pro stage in the top call-outs without using drugs. It is totally possible. Is it harder? Yeah, it is harder. Unfortunately, one of the things that makes it so hard, okay, is the pressure that you feel. You'll feel that pressure, whether it's coming externally or it's something coming in from within you, okay? Because you get insecure looking around at these girls and you're thinking, okay, well, how come they can get that hard? How come they can put on muscle that fast? Why do they recover so quickly? Why don't they seem to have to do X, Y, Z? Okay. These things are happening and these thoughts are going to go through your mind. But at the end of the day, you really have to decide what is the decision that's best for you. Myself personally, I'm not here to cop this. But the thing is that there is a sort of mindset or a mantra out there where people think that if you want to go to that next level, if you want to step it up and you want to go on and be a pro, you got to do what it takes. You got to be hardcore. And here's what I just want you to know about this, okay? And again, this is no judgment. This is no slag. When we talk about metabolic adaptation and we talk about metabolic consequences of extreme dieting, the thing that is not talked about enough or not thrown in there enough of the equation is the actual post-metabolic adaptation, hormonal adaptation from drug usage. And I'm not just talking about anabolic steroids, ladies. I'm talking about your anti-estrogens. I'm talking about your thyroid. There is a rebound effect that comes with that. And unfortunately, we don't talk about that. We kind of glamorize it because you know what? It really does assist with it, okay? Just like a rubber band with everything, okay? Everything comes a reaction and you will get a reaction on the other side. So you do have to decide for yourself. And I hope, okay? I really hope that if you are using it, somebody is pre-warning you ahead of time that can happen. Like, you're going to have to make an informed decision for yourself. And again, I'm not policing it. I really don't care with you. It's your body, your business, okay? But if you are unaware that can happen, that could be really shocking for you, okay? You couple in the fact that you go into an extreme caloric deficit, you're already mentally are depleted, you're down the rabbit hole, you're already in that depleted state, your brain chemistry is already off, and then you throw in a hormonal apocalypse on top of it. It is a real thing. Okay, and I know this because I've experienced this myself, okay? I experienced it. Are bikini competitors using, and do you need to use? That is like the biggest freaking question out there. Yes, they are using, and they're using often. Okay, they're using a lot more than you think, and they're using in all kinds of shows. So you really have to wrap your head around the fact that if you are competing, you almost have to take that equation out of it, okay? Unless you are doing a tested show with polygraph testing and their urine testing every single athlete, you really don't know, okay? There is a way to beat the drug test, just like Olympic athletes. So you really have to make the decision of where you're going to mentally allow yourself to go. If you know that your stance is that you are not going to use, and you know that on show day, if you get beaten by a girl who looks like she could have used or potentially used, because you did an open show, you knew what you were up against. So do your homework, learn how to prep as a natural athlete properly. And that means you're not constantly dieting. That means that your prep is very methodically lined out. It is not just like everything in the kitchen sink and hoping it stays. As a coach a few years ago, I actually put it up on my website. It's not up anymore. But I had a disclaimer, like, if you're choosing to use drugs, I'm not going to coach you. And it's not because I'm judging you, or it's not because I care what you do. It's because at the end of the day, this is what I'm good at. I'm good at coaching natties. And I think in this whole moral high ground thing that people get on with like natural versus not natural, I think we need to eliminate that equation, because it's really irrelevant, okay? Because we're all big kids and we can make our own choices and we can decide what types of shows we want to enter. The thing is that so many of you want to win a pro card. So many of you want to take it to the next level. And what's going to happen as you continue to compete and you continue to talk to people is there will be this undeniable pressure that you will feel to conform, okay? And this is the thing that isn't talked about. I remember being probably 21 or 22, and I was getting ready for my first nationals, and it was the first time I heard about clenbuterol because someone said to me, "Aren't you taking Clen?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I don't even know what that is." And that was the first time that I recognized that in order for me to sound like I belong or think like I belong, I was supposed to be using something, okay? And this is a very, very real thing that you will feel. And I'm sure there's a lot of you watching this right now or thinking to yourself, like, well, maybe if I dabble in this or maybe if I dabble in that, I will belong, okay? So understand that your choice should be greater than that, okay? Your choice should be much deeper than that sense of belonging, because I will tell you something about this sense of belonging that you think that you have, and that is that you champ one day, chump the next. I've won, okay? I've won at really high levels and I've done really well. Most of you don't even know that, okay? Because you don't even remember who I was. If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, who's that? I don't know. This is a very short, fleeting amount of time. You want to make this about your conformity, or do you want to make this about your own personal self-expression, right? And I'm not one to talk because I'm an extremist by nature, okay? Like I just love it. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that, like, as an athlete, I didn't feel the things that everybody else feels or love that sense of belonging. Heck, winning was like, it's insatiable, guys. Like, it feels really, really good. And when you're getting those kudos and you're getting those accolades and people are applauding you for, you know, fitting in and looking the part, like, that is a huge aspect of this quote unquote sport, okay? And just as much as you get to that feeling of fitting in, you can just as easily not fit in, okay? And so hope that you understand that it is about your own decision, okay? It is not about what a coach thinks you should do, what somebody else tells you should do, or what everybody else is using. And this is like such a slippery slope, because as an athlete, there was times where I didn't think, I just did, okay? And it's very normal. But you really have to know deep down, okay, I'm willing to do this. And if you are, fine, okay? But in the end, okay, if you have those consequences, if you have the adaptation, if your hormones are all wackadoo, own that shit, okay? Because you knew ahead of time what you were walking into. That said, be smart about it too, guys. Like, be really smart. Like, know your sources, okay? It's so much Breaking Bad out there. But my whole point is, can you win and be good as a natural athlete? Yes, you can. Is it harder? Yeah, it can be in some ways. Is it doable? Yes, absolutely it is. And you know what's funny is I've had so many people over the years try to tell me that my clients that are natural were on drugs, and they weren't. So some people are born to do this, some people are not, and some people will feel like in order to get that next level, they have to use. And you know what? That might be the truth for them to get to that next level, because structurally, genetically, they don't really have it. That can be a truth, okay? So can it be done? Yes. Are people using? Yes. But this pressure that you feel, think about it very logically, because there is always an impact, okay? Whether you reverse cycle after your show or you reverse diet after your show, what goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up. And unfortunately, in the situation of using things that impact your estrogen balance, that impact your thyroid, you are literally doing a slingshot. And, once those floodgates open up, that's it. So anyways, off my soapbox, but this needed to be said. That's all.